this piece of property, and I bought these little valuable pieces of land, knowing later that I was had me a good location. I didn't try to sell none of this. I wanted my location right there. That was my lively blood house. I mean, you cut the blood off my heart, I'm dead. And it hurts me to know that something like this could happen to somebody who's been in business for 35 years. I have over 35 employees that work at this operation, and I got another 20 that vitalizes it, and we got approximately 80 employees. That this is the mainstream of my blood right there. The warehouse that we operate out of there feeds all these others, and I got multiple other shops. My retail is a very, very vital to that piece right there. What's my land worth?
Mr. Wallace. Mr. Wallace.
We've had some initial conversations with the individuals that you see before you tonight, and had some preliminary discussions in terms of what kind of redress and solutions we could have that will meet all the needs of all of us. We would be happy to continue to have these conversations with them and bring some information back to you in a report and a recommendation after sitting and having conversations with them.
Well, I have a question. Who have we had, Dan, who have you had conversations with?
I've had conversations with
Fred Whitley.
Fred Whitley. How long has that been going on?
We just started it the other day. I mean, I had not seen, the road that I seen come down through Queen Street on the paper, when they put it in the paper, I said, this is fine. I planned on taking the office that I have up in the front and turn that into offices, rebuild that as like a doctor's office, trying to do that. And I had a negotiation with a lease on the front, and I talked to him. And when I come down that one morning, sidewalks, I mean, the road was here, and then all of a sudden all these curbs and gutters going here. And man, I said, wow. You know, my boy calls me, he runs the operation, he calls me, Richard calls me, and I come down there and I couldn't believe my eyes. I had not seen the re-advise, I had not got a letter from the city, and nobody had sent me a letter to knowing that this was happening to me. You
mean they showed you one plan and then get back to you on
in the paper? I never even got a letter about none of it. Showed me a letter that never come to me.
We're not going to solve that situation tonight in terms of going back and forth, who saw what, when. If you allow us to have an opportunity to have these discussions with the gentleman, we'll bring factual information back to you in terms of who saw what and when and how it transpired.
I'm not discussing who did what, when, all that, Mr. Wallace. My concern is he's got a business there. He was shown one plan. He didn't know anything but that plan, and now there's something entirely different there. He's a small businessman, like he said, been here for 35 years, and I think we owe Mr. Edwards more than moving the road and not somebody telling him, explaining to him, and getting his input on it.
And I think we owe Mr. Edwards the respect that he deserves in this particular process too, okay? And in that particular context, we'll show you what has transpired and what kind of communication has taken place, and then we'll bring some recommendations back to the council.
Well, at one time when the first road was to go through, Mr. Edwards is right, the first road was almost running straight through that property. And then there was a change made maybe almost 2 years ago that they took the road and they wiggled it, and they did all that, and I know what you're referring to. But I do think also, Mr. Wallace, I would suggest when you're meeting with Mr. Edwards that you maybe include also somebody from the Retail Development Office, because if he's saying he needs to have some comparable type of location, and we have done this before, and this council supports that when we do something to disrupt anybody's livelihood, especially a person who's given so much to the community and to the youth programs over the years and so forth, as Danny's Glass has. But I do think we ought to include them also to find if there's any, when you're redress referring to it, it's not so much a money situation, what can you do to help him to keep his business? But you have a great reputation in this city, and we all know it sitting here on council. Yes, sir.
We'll certainly do that, and council will call. There were many interests that we are trying to serve in this particular process, and we have to bring all those particular people and issues to the table and then come to some conclusions on it.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say one more thing about it, and I know this is going to be stirring a debate and maybe pouring some salt in old wounds, but I remember several years ago sitting in that conference room back there in the afternoon session, and Mr. Kearney looked at the map and said, why are we moving the road? And the reason that the road was moved, and this is what's going to be a bone of contention. It was moved so they could use condemnation on the people out there on Queen Street who wouldn't sell the property for what they wanted to sell it for. And that's why it was done. And when it was done, it killed your business. And this city owes an explanation to you what we're going to do to correct that problem. And I wait forward to hearing from it.
That's an opinion.
Well,
Mr. Edwards, you made a lot of money out of me.
Ma'am?
You got a lot of money out of me. When I first moved here, I had this beat-up 1971 Camaro, and the rearview mirror kept falling off. And every other week, I was at Danny's Glass to have that rearview mirror put back on. So thank you for that earlier phase. I got rid of that car, by the way. But I think that we have drawn the conclusion here that there will be further discussions with you and the city staff about, what's going to happen with your business and the road issue.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let me just make one quick comment. Since you made the comment, you made a lot of money off you. I think about all the windshields that I've had replaced at Dan's Glass in my years of 40 years here.
It's bad driving.
I'm telling you. But you've always been...
Mr. Whitley, you remember that Volvo that the mayor had that time we had to push it out of the intersection during Bay Days or something? Remember that?
He always gave me great service.
Mercy, Sunday afternoon.
Filed insurance papers for me and did a good job. But I'm wondering, though, are we a little bit premature since that road hasn't been fully utilized yet? If you have a proposal, I'm sure Fred's a good engineer, by the way, to tell you the truth. And he'll get a design for you that will get that traffic flowing to your place some kind of way. I just wonder if we might be a little premature right now, and it might be, I don't think you're going to lose your clients, but I'm sure we're going to do everything we can to enhance your business or keep it there. We've certainly been a fine business all these years, so.
Thank you.
I don't know.